Good morning and welcome to Around the Globe on Aneke TV. First, let's look at stories making the headlines. Ukraine's president rules out ceding land to Russia. Russian president reaffirms friendship with North Korea. Dozens killed in an attack in Sudan. Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly denies plan to probe former governor of the state. Sudan thrashed Nigeria 4-0 in Chan. I am Aneke. Now the news in details. U.S. National Guard troops have begun appearing on the streets of Washington, D.C., a day after President Donald Trump deployed the troops to the city and took control of its police force as they argued violence was out of control. Armored vehicles were spotted at urban centers and tourist sites around the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday evening. Officials have said that 800 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed, as well as 500 federal law enforcement agents. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, a Democrat who has denied crime is out of control in her city, described the troop deployment as an authoritarian push. We move to Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is joining European leaders in talks aimed at increasing pressure on U.S. President Donald Trump to side with Ukraine during the Friday summit with his Russian counterpart in Alaska. In an online call with Trump today, the leaders are expected to reiterate that no decision should be taken without Ukraine, including changing its borders by force. Trump has said any peace deal would involve some swapping of territories, and it is believed one of the Russian President Vladimir Putin's demands is that Kiev surrenders the part of the Donbass it still controls. In the meantime, President Volodymyr Zelensky says he will reject any Russian proposal to give up the Donbass region in exchange for a ceasefire, warning it could be used as a springboard for future attacks. Zelensky was speaking ahead of a meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Alaska this Friday. Trump has said any peace deal would involve some swapping of territories, and it is believed one of Putin's demands is that Kiev surrenders the part of the Donbass it still controls. Meanwhile, Russia's troops have continued their summer offensive, making a sudden thrust near the eastern town of Dobrapila and advancing 10 kilometers, 6 miles in a short period of time. Now moving to Russia and North Korea, Russian President Vladimir Putin has reaffirmed his friendship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. This is coming ahead of his talks with Donald Trump this Friday. It also comes as the BBC reported the slave-like condition facing thousands of North Korean workers sent to Russia to take part in construction projects. Putin and Kim spoke with the Russian leader praising Pyongyang's military support for his country's war against Ukraine. This week, Russia has been making fresh military advances in Ukraine, leading to a sudden thrust near the eastern town of Dobropila and advancing 10 kilometers, 6 miles in a short period of time. We move to Israel. Gaza City has come under intense air attack, the territory's Hamas-run Civil Defense Agency has said, as Israeli forces prepare to occupy the city. Mahmoud Basal, a spokesman, said the residential areas of Zaytoun and Sabra had for 3 days been hit by bombs and drone strikes that caused massive destruction to civilian homes, with residents unable to recover the dead and injured. Meanwhile, the UK, EU, Australia, Canada, and Japan issued a statement saying famine is unfolding in front of their eyes and urged action to reverse starvation. They demanded immediate, permanent, and concrete steps to facilitate the entry of aid to Gaza. However, Israel has denied that there is starvation in Gaza. Now we move to Asia. The wife of South Korea's jailed former president Yoon Suk Yeol has been arrested. Investigators are seeking to charge her over various suspected crimes, including bribery, stock manipulation, and meddling in the selection of a candidate. In granting the special prosecutor's request for an arrest warrant, the Seoul Central District Court said Kim Kyun Hee posed a risk of destroying evidence. The investigation into Kim is one of 3 special prosecutor probes launched under Seoul's new Liberal government targeting the presidency of Yoon, a conservative who was removed from office in April and arrested last month over his briefing position of martial law in December. Now we'll move to Africa. In the Abu Sok Emergency Response Room, an aid group that works in Sudan's western Darfur region says at least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's western Darfur region. The Abu Shok Emergency Response Room said the assault was carried out by the Rapid Support Forces (RSF), the resistance community in nearby El Fasher city, made up of local citizens and activists, also reported this. Al Fasher, which came under intense attack as well, is the last major foothold in Darfur for the army and its allies, which have been fighting the paramilitary RSF in the 2-year civil war. The conflict has triggered a humanitarian crisis, with the UN warning that families trapped in the besieged city face starvation. Now still in Africa, a Kenyan magistrate says the cause of death of British tycoon Harry Roy Vivers, whose exhumed body has been in the morgue for 11 years, cannot be determined. David ordered the inquest to be closed, saying that due to the level of the body's decomposition at the time of exhumation, months after his burial, it was too hard to say what led to his death, and nobody can be called to answer any charge. Mr. Vivers died on Valentine's Day 2013 in the coastal city of Mombasa. He was buried in accordance with Islamic rites and without a post-mortem. Also, an investigation by the British Army has found some soldiers stationed at a controversial base in Kenya continue to use sex workers despite being banned from doing so. A report said soldiers at the British Army Training Unit Kenya Batuk used sex workers at a low or moderate level, adding that more work was needed to stamp out the practice. The investigation covered a period of more than 2 years, examining conduct at the base dating back to July 2022. It was commissioned in October 2024 following an investigation by ITV into the behavior of soldiers at Batuk, including allegations some army personnel were paying local women for sex. Through some stories from Nigeria, in its determination to confront emerging security challenges, particularly terrorism, kidnapping, and cyberspace-related fraud, National Security Advisor (NSA) has announced plans to strengthen interagency coordination and deepen community engagement as key pillars of the revised National Counterterrorism Strategy 2025. National Coordinator of National Counterterrorism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, while making this known at the final validation for the draft strategy in Abuja yesterday, noted that the updated framework was designed to improve collaboration among security agencies and foster public participation in preventing and responding to terrorism. Now in the southwest, and Ogun State High Court has issued an ex parte order barring Governor Dakwa Abiodun or any official from the state government from tampering or demolishing the Asolu Dero Court, Shagamu GRA private residence of former governor of the state, Senator Benga Daniel. The order also covered the Conference Hotels Limited and the annex also owned by the former governor. Justice O.S. Oloyede gave the order following motion for ex parte order for interim injunction filed on behalf of Daniel and his wife Iyeye Olufunke Daniel by their counsel, Mr. A.M. Koteye, against Governor Abiodun, the Attorney General of Ogun State Planning and Development Permit, and the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development. According to the certified true copy of the order signed by W.T. Ogundele, the principal registrar, and made available to journalists, Koteye had, among other things, demanded for an ex parte order restraining the defendants and respondents and their agents from demolition or in any way or manner tampering with the property known as Asoludero Court, the conference hotels, as well as the annex pending the determination of the motion on notice filed before the court. In the meantime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has granted former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal administrative bail after questioning him over alleged financial misconduct. Tambuwal, who also served as Speaker of the House of Representatives, is accused of fraudulently withdrawing about 189 billion naira during his tenure as governor. A senior EFCC official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said Tambuwal was released after providing the information investigators required. EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale confirmed the development last night but declined to comment further. Tambuwal had honored the NEFC's invitation on Monday, arriving at the Commission's Abuja headquarters at 11:16 a.m. Now we move to the South. The Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly says it has no plan to probe immediate past Governor Udom Emmanuel as falsely speculated in some sections of the media. The Deputy Speaker, Kufra Basi Edidem, announced this in a statement issued in Uyo, the state capital, and made available to newsmen. According to Edidem, the House has not constituted any committee to probe the former governor. Edidem further stated that what transpired at the plenary session on Thursday, August 7th, was that the member representing Mat-Enin State constituency, Mr. Uwem Imoita, raised a matter of urgent public importance that some employees of the coconut plantation had not been paid for 7 months. He maintained that as a norm in the House, an ad hoc committee has been constituted to investigate the issue raised and report back within 1 month. It urged the newspaper and other media organizations to always verify their facts from official legislative sources before publication. Now we move to Lagos State. The Lagos State government has released a plan to divert traffic around Osborne Road in Ikoyi, Etiosa local government for 2 days, specifically Friday, August 15th to Sunday, August 17th. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Oluwaseun Oshiyemi, said this in a statement to Lagos. He said that the plan became necessary to minimize disruption that will occur from connecting the drains along Modupe and Lakija Crescent to the drains along the median on Osborne Road. He noted that a traffic management plan would be implemented over the 2-day period to minimize disruption. Now to the health sector. Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, has announced a $3 million investment over the next 2 years to strengthen routine immunization and primary health care in Kaduna State. This is expected to accelerate progress towards universal vaccine coverage. Gavi Senior Country Manager for Nigeria, Jessica Crawford, announced this during a high-level field mission to the state. The visit included engagements with top state officials, health facility tours, and strategy meetings with partners. Crawford said Kaduna has shown strong leadership, coordination, and results in immunization. She emphasized that the funding would help build on those successes, tackle hard-to-reach areas, and ensure equitable access to life-saving vaccines. Crawford explained that the fund drawn from Gavi's latest health system strengthening HSS grant will be implemented in collaboration with the Kaduna State Government, the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, NPHCDA, and other partners. Now, in the meantime, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says over 10,000 cartons of unregistered tomato paste and the cosmetic products were seized at Lagos Street Fair Market. The 5-day operation was conducted by NAFDAC's investigation and enforcement team at the cosmetics section of the market. The Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Dr. Martins Iluyomade, told journalists that the raid was part of ongoing efforts to remove unregistered and harmful products from Nigerian markets. The Director said a newly inaugurated multi-agency task force would boost NAFDAC surveillance against substandard medicines and unsafe processed foods nationwide. He added that the agency's partnership with the Nigeria Customs Service to strengthen border control was yielding results. Dr. Iluyomade urged Nigerians to use NAFDAC's decentralized registration process to verify and register their products. In business, the Naira continued to depreciate against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market for the second consecutive time this week. Central Bank of Nigeria exchange rate data showed that the country's currency, the Naira, closed at 1,579 Naira. 537 Naira against the dollar on Tuesday, up from 1,535 Naira traded on Monday. This showed that the Naira further weakened by 1 Naira 17 kobo against the dollar on a day-to-day basis. Meanwhile, at the black market, the Naira remained at 1,570 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, the same rate recorded on Monday. In the past 2 days this week, the Naira has lost 3 Naira 53 kobo against the dollar. The development comes despite Nigeria's standard reserves increasing to $40 as of August 8, up from $39 at the end of last month, 2025. Now we move to sports. Sudan has thrashed Nigeria 4-0 in their African Nations Championship CHAN. The Group D encounter took place at the Jamhuri Stadium in Morogoro, Tanzania, kicking. Sudan's momentum was evident early with Leonard Genge's own goal in the 25th minute, handing them a 1-0 lead. While again doubled the advantage from the penalty spot in the 44th minute, giving Sudan a comfortable 2-0 lead at the halftime. Omer Yagoub extended the lead to the 68th minute before scoring again just 3 minutes later to seal the emphatic win. Nigeria struggled to break through Sudan's defense, with the scoreline remaining unchanged despite their second half efforts. Sudan's striking prowess and sharp finishing repeatedly troubled the Nigerian backline, creating several scoring chances. The Sudanese side's teamwork and strategy were evident as they outplayed Nigeria in all areas of the game. This comprehensive win sent Sudan to the top of Group D and boosts their chances of reaching the next round. Nigeria, who lost their opening match 1-0 to Senegal, now face a must-win fixture to revive their qualification hopes. Now in entertainment, Nigerian Afropop star Thames has told the BBC people don't really respect women in her industry. The two-time Grammy Award winner told the BBC that at the start of her career, she struggled to be taken seriously. Afropop has gained immense global popularity over the past decade, but despite this growth, it remains notoriously male-dominated. The industry's so-called Big Three, Burna Boy, Davido, and Wizkid, are all male, while their female counterparts such as Tiwa Savage and Yemi Alade have spoken out about the barriers they face because of their gender. To end around the globe, here are the main points. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine said he would not accept any Russian proposal to give up the Donbas region in exchange for a ceasefire. He warned it could be used as a springboard for future attacks. Zelensky was speaking ahead of a meeting between US President Donald Trump and Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday. Russian President Vladimir Putin has reaffirmed his friendship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. This is coming ahead of his talks with Donald Trump this Friday. The Abu Shok Emergency Response Room, an aid group that works in Sudan's western Darfur region, said that at least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's western Darfur region. We also told you that the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly said it has no plan to probe immediate past Governor Udom Emmanuel, as falsely speculated in some sections of the media, not Aneke TV. And that was the news. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703 043 7110, or you can send us a message across all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, all at Aneke TV. On behalf of the producer, Chibike China, I am Amaka Nnechi. Joining us.
Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, It breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
na mbụ ọja m na-asị ekekele ụwa na ọkwa ọja ekenekwa gị n'eluigwe na ala na-ekene gị na urukpuru na kpakpando na-ekene gị na ugwu na ndịna na-ekene gị maka ka onye si eme ka ekwe si akpụ ya ka onye si eme ka ọja si akpụ ya Aneke TV.
A non-governmental organization, Aneke Pascal Onyekake Foundation, has distributed free exercise books to pupils in Community Primary School 1 and 2 in Ozam, Amechi Dodo, Nkanu East Local Government Area of Enugu State, with an encouragement to the children to take their studies seriously. The serene atmosphere of the school was agog as the team arrived the arena with over 300 children benefiting from the free exercise books. Speaking during the event, the program officer of the foundation, Obinna Obu, said the idea of sharing the books was to empower the children educationally. According to him, the foundation has put in place all the necessary measures to support the development of education in the area. He said the foundation had visited and donated books to some other schools in Enugu South, Nkanu East, and Nkanu West local government areas.
We are here, which is part of our ongoing project, which cut across distribution of educational materials to pupils of rural schools located in rural communities. So we've covered other local governments. So this another local government, another school under Nkanu East, which we've covered today. And I think our come here was successful, though the rain tried to destroy, but to God be the glory, the aim of coming here was achieved at the end of the day.
As they are shared to.
Sure, it will be useful to them, and it's obvious on the way they collected it and their countenance and their expression of joy and the collection. We believe that by giving them these books, it will help them to do their homework, assignment, and classwork, and then take their learning serious. Thank you.
3 pupils, Sarah Obase, Chimeremeze Goodness, and Ernest Igwe, expressed joy that their school was remembered and thanked the foundation for the gesture, pledged saying that the books will motivate the pupils.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord. Una try. We really appreciate your coming. We are happy. It's a real good. We are happy for the foundation have shared up to let's say 500 size books to the P that they receive this gift.
Appreciate you people for coming, at least to show us that this type of thing is in existence. Because if people are not here, we will not have
Venus Ibuaba, an indigene of Amechi Dodo,
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture. Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen, form, and empower. It's more than a television. This is television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Letting us into your space this wonderful Wednesday morning. We're always here and motivate. Today is Wednesday, August 13, 2025, and we're here again with a complete dose of news. Alright, first we will start off with our quote of the day per usual. So, spark of inspiration we all need for the day and remain focused and driven. And right after that, we would explain